Hello everyone, welcome to today's video, and as you can see we'll be going over my Gurguit deck profile that I used at Springfest in Mouvaux. My team and I managed to get second place over there and it was an amazing event. I had so much fun, and you know, if you're interested in the deck, I can show you what kind of build I've been using. It's a bit different from most lists, so let's jump straight into it. Starting us off, of course, we have our 4 copies of Gurguit himself. Of course, you know that he has his main continuous ability, that when your opponent's a grade 3, he gives himself and every unit that's called by an ability +5 for each additional rearguard circle. So that's super handy. That's everything you need to get started with your multi-attacks. It gains power lines. It was even more busted when we got Percival at 4, but now that we got him back at 1, that's more than plenty, and we can still do our shenanigans. Of course, his other ability is also pretty good. You can either offensively or defensively proc it when he attacks or is attacked. You can check the top 5 for a counterblast and call 2. So that's pretty amazing, but we want to proc that ability as much as possible. Might have to note that Gurguit himself only gets the power-up ability himself once, and all the other units get it once each and every time they get Superior Called. One of those Superior Call enablers is Sagramore, who when he gets placed from hand, you can just Soul Blast 1 to draw a card, call a card from hand to rearguard circle. So, you know, he doesn't get procced by Gurguit himself, but he's an immediate starter, you know, at the beginning of your turn. He came in clutch so many times. That extra draw helps out a lot. And when you pair him up with Max Slash Dragon, you're at 3 copies. That's another extender. You call him out with Gurgit's skill. He gets power. He swings into your opponent's Vanguard. You just pay another counterblast and call a card from hand. That can be anything. That can be your Aglovale. That can be your Sagramore. That can be your countercharge enabler. That can be, you know, whatever you need at that point in time. That can even be your Percival. Here at 1. Do I need to explain Percival? I don't think so. He's amazing. You want to see him at any point in the game and you'll be happy. Now, of course, with Percival comes Aglovale. He gains power, he pushes cards into the soul for your abilities to go active, like Sagramore. He's your main right target in the early game to immediately put pressure on your opponent, which you want to be doing as fast as possible. So we run him at 4, just like one of our other extenders, the grade 2 Ezel. Now, you won't be using him for his Vanguard ability, you'll be using him for that when placed, you can call a card from hand to rearguard circle, proccing Gurguit once again. So you just want to push out as many attacks as possible. The last 2 slots. Now, this is the most optimal position for me. Like 2 copies of Berengaria. She gets placed by an ability, so Sagramore, Wonderezel, Gurguit, any which one. You Soul Blast, you get a counter charge. You counterblast, you get a Soul Charge. Now it's usually going to be the counter charge, so you know, it's pretty good. A lot of people have been using the Paramore now, since you can pair it with Jeffrey, so you can guarantee your superior ride up. But you know, I prefer just running Jeffrey, looking for my Gurgits, and you know, hope I get lucky. Honestly, it does tend to happen that you get grade stuck. It's happened to me twice at Mouvaux, so be careful for that, but he's amazing to check the top 7, and for the rest of the game he's either a 10k shield when he's called by an ability, or he's just a 13k attacker. So he's useful all around. My next 4 copies will be grade 3 searchers. That can be Percival, that can be Gurgits, that can be our Max Slash, that can be Heal Guardians, which we do desperately need at times. Gorbita comes in whenever you need him. You can discard anything that you don't need at the time, and for the rest, he's also a 13k attacker. So when you call him out, he will be doing numbers. Our last slot is Dindrain. I don't need to explain Dindrain. Dindrain is in basically every Gold Paladin deck at this point. When she gets superior called, you either draw or counter charge. She can hit numbers, and otherwise she's a discard follower. So extremely useful. Of course, we have our starter. That can be whichever one you like. And then we have our trigger lineup. I'll spread them out for you guys. Yes, you see that correctly. Critical triggers. Now, if your opponent sees defensive triggers, that's usually a done game. But I want to go for that super aggro. I want to see those critical triggers as early as possible, put my opponent in an awkward position, and just put the pressure on them. I had a match against Maelstrom, which is extremely stressful if they have their pieces, if they can get their skills off. But by the time they hit their first Maelstrom ride, I had already pushed them to 4. So he had to defend everything from my first Gurguit push, because otherwise he would have been dead. And like, the critical triggers can always give that extra push, but I can see why he would run fronts. That extra numbers can help out in a pinch. But honestly, you know what I'm about. I love that aggression. Now, for the rest, I want to say thank you to all my teammates, both the ones that were in my lineup for Mouvaux, and my teammates that went with me and that got, I think, 15th. So they did their best for their first tournament, so shout out to you guys from Valkyrie's Chosen. Of course, I want to thank all my opponents. I want to thank the CruShingTheMeta guys. I want to thank JJ for, well, JJ and Robin as well. Both of them, like, after our final match in the finals, because JJ and his team ended up winning. That was so insane. It was so much fun talking to everyone. Like, I can't express enough how exciting it is to just have events again. And, you know, I want to encourage everyone to go and have fun at the event, like to show up. And, you know, if you want to use Gold Paladin for it, here's my list. And I hope you guys enjoy. Now, with that, I'll be leaving you guys to tinker with the deck. And I'll see you guys next time. Stay radiant. Bye-bye.